Hi, it's Mark Homan from Paul's Photo and the Creative Photo Academy. We're here editing Be Creative Day 10. And you saw in the first session here, I downloaded the picture from the Sony A7 off the memory card through a card reader here into the computer. I'm looking at it in Photoshop Bridge. And now I've selected this photo because I want to make this a black and white. And I look at this image and this screams to me that it's going to be a really cool black and white image. How do I know that? Because I look at the shapes and the textures and what's going on in the image, and I know that I'm going to like this a lot better. So when I do black and white, not this one, I'm going to do this one. So when I do black and white, I always start with a color image. I shoot in RAW, and then I'm going to double click on the image, and here I come to Adobe Camera Raw. I'm going to, by looking at the histogram here, I'm going to adjust the exposure. And this is just a fine adjustment. You have to get the exposure right with the camera. And whether you're using the matrix or comparative or evaluative light meter or the spot meter, I shoot an aperture priority most of the time to get the light the way that I want it. And if I'm going to go to black and white, I don't do much else here. I've got this the way that I want it, and I go ahead and hit open. So I'm opening the picture here. From Camera Raw, I switch to Photoshop, and now I'm going to crop the image. So the color image I didn't crop at all because I framed it pretty well. But here with this black and white, I want to tighten it up a little bit. And I've chosen my crop to be the 2:3 ratio. That's the same ratio that the camera shoots. And so now I'm going to bring the image in, and I'm going to look at this. And I'm going to hit escape, because I'm also going to look at this in the 4:5 ratio. So the old-fashioned 8:10 size. And I think I'm going to like this one a little bit better, right? I think I'm going to like this just about here. Now, why here? Because I didn't like that this leaf here was out of focus. And I've brought it in, I've cleaned up the bottom a little bit, and it's got a dark, so that it's going to go dark to light. And you see I have this beautiful S curve here? That's what I wanted in the picture. So great, so now I'm in Photoshop, I cropped it, I'm where I want. So now I have a little bit of work to do with the spot healing brush. Because you see this dead leaf back here that's really bright? I need to get rid of it. And using the spot healing brush, it's going to make it look like the background behind it. And see how it didn't work real well there? That's okay. Let's go back and redo it. Nope, I'm not liking it at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the cloning tool, and I'm going to take this area right here, and I'm going to copy that over there using cloning. So you hit the Option key and a left mouse click, and now I can clone this area right in there. And if you do it real well, you can't even see that you did anything. And that's the trick with these adjustments in Photoshop, is I don't want you to see what I did. It's just like being a magician, right? You may be able to figure out the trick, but I don't want you to be able to see how I did it. Okay, back, so you see how I got that there? Beautiful. Now I go back to Spot Healing Brush. I want to get rid of this stick right here. Boom. That one there too. And you see that broken stick right there? I'm just going to highlight that. And let's see what happens. Oh, it did a perfect job to get rid of it, right? Perfect job. This little white spot right here, I'm going to just take that out. And I'm pretty happy with this. Oop, this little stick right here has to go away. Now, is this stuff I could have done in the darkroom? Absolutely. I could have gone in there and burnished, dodged, and darkened these things and made them go away. But instead, I'm doing that in the computer. So now I've got a color image, and it's pretty much the way I like it. It's got the feel that I want. So now, let's see a little dead spot right there that I'm going to clean up. I'm going to go over to Nik software. So Nik is a piece of software that serious photographers have used forever. It's 6 pieces of software. It's owned by DxO Optics, which is a cool company. Nik software, it's about $60, $70 for this whole suite. And basically, I use 2 pieces of this software. Number one, Viveza, that you saw me adjust the color with, And here we're going to use Silver FX Pro, which is the software that I use to convert my color pictures into black and white. So why don't I just use Photoshop or Lightroom to do that? I like the power that Nik gives me. I like the choices it gives me. Now there's other stuff out there. There's a lot of other softwares that you can use to make the black and white conversion. This is the one that I like. I mean, I'm not saying it's the best. I'm not saying it's the one you have to buy. It's the one I like, it's the one I use, and it's the one I know. So if you're one of my regular students, or if you want to become one of our regular students, regular customers at Paul's Photo, and you have questions for me, if it's on Nik, I can answer for you. On something else, I don't use that software, so I really can't. So in black and white, when you bring an image in, the first thing you'll see here is the color. Oh, let me go back. One of the things that Nik does that's really cool for beginners is they offer all these presets down the side. Now, I want my own control, so I don't use a lot of the presets, right? So there's a pretty cool preset right there. But I go back to neutral, which is no preset. I hide the preset library. The first thing I'll do is use the colored filters. No filter, red filter, orange filter, yellow filter, green filter, blue filter. So I like this with no filter better. I think that's the right look for me. And now the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to, just like I did in color, I'm going to use a control point. So here I'm going to take a control point. I'm going to lay it in here. By this, I'm going to adjust the size of the control point, and I'm going to darken this area of the picture. And why am I darkening this area of the picture? Because I find that this area of the picture is competing with my subject here. And remember, what did I say? I want to create this line that moves this way. And by selectively darkening parts of the picture, now, was Ansel Adams able to selectively darken parts of the picture? Absolutely, because he burned and dodged in the darkroom. So here, this is the equivalent of burning and dodging. And just like anything in Photoshop, there are lots of ways to accomplish this. I just happen to like Nik because I think it's fast and it's expedient, and I really like the way it looks. So you can see what I've done. Look at how we've highlighted that area, and now we got one spot left here that I got to get rid of, and that's this little point right there. So I'm going to make the control point really small, and I'm just going to darken the you-know-what out of that. And see how that goes down? And look what that did. Oh my gosh, isn't that cool, right? Awesome. So now I'm going to take the control point. I'm going to put the control point on my main leaf here. I'm going to add some structure to it. And I'm going to darken it just a teeny little bit right there. That's cool. Now, how do you know how much to lighten and darken and all that kind of stuff? It's feel, it's taste, right? So you have to get a feel for it. You have to get a feel for what you like and what it's going to look like printed. Because remember, my goal is to print these images, not just have them on the computer. And when you're going to print, you see how I'm just copying that control point around? If you want to learn more about the control points and how to do this, you'll look at the other video right before this in color, right? So I'm just, remember when I'm working an image like this, right? You saw me edit down from about 75 photos to 3 photos in the previous video. And I do that very quickly. And when I edit a photo like this in the computer, my normal editing time will be less than 3 minutes. And I feel if I can't do it in 3 minutes, I haven't done a good enough job selecting the subject or exposing with the camera. So remember, I'm using the computer editing to just fine-tune what my eye sees. So look at how we have that beautiful line shaped in right there. I hit OK. I'm saving the image. So I'm done with Nik software. I'm going to return to Photoshop. So, did I lose it again? Oh, Photoshop is crashing. Oh, Photoshop, Photoshop, Photoshop. What are you doing to me tonight? So, you can see we all have these problems. And, it is what it is. So now I reopen the image again. You're going to get to see me do it again. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this at my speed, right? Boom. So I'm going to do this just like I would normally do it, right? And do all the steps that we just did over again. I would normally send an error report and say, you bastards, you dirty rat, Why'd you crash? Right? But because I'm with you, I don't have the time to do that. So now I'm doing the crop again, just the way we did it. Boom, look at that. Oops, I didn't quite get the edge right, so I'm gonna bring that down just a little bit more. Boom, now I got the edge right. Remember we did the spot healing brush. I took out that, and that, and that, and that, and that, and I took out this over here, so that didn't work with the spot healing brush, so I used the cloning tool, and I'm going to take that right there. Oh, sorry, wrong button. Alt key, Option key, boom, 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 boom. Right, so see how I took that out, just darkened it down, right? And every time you do this, it's a little bit different. That's okay, right? So now I'm looking. Oh, I got to take this guy out. So spot healing brush. Now, can I give you a hint? If you're worried about a crash, what I do, and I should have done it last time, was I would save it here. File, save as, and I'm going to put an A in front of this, boom, right? So now what I've done is I just saved the cropping and the cloning that I did. So now I'm going to go back here to Nik Software, and I'm going to go to Nik Silver Effects, which is what I like to do to make the black and white conversion. Remember, we tested with the different filters. I didn't need any filter. I just left it normal. Boop, 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 boop. Here we go. All right, so I'm going to add control point up here in the corner, shrink it, darken it, shrink it down like that, and just take this control point across to different areas of the picture. So for those of you who like what we do here, you know, at Creative Photo Academy, we have all kinds of classes. We have trips where we go out and photograph together. Now, we're not going to do we're not going to do the day trips right now. It's not safe, but we are going to try to continue with the longer trips. You know, Yosemite, Italy, Cuba, all those. We got some Scotland coming up. We've got cool trips to do, and you can join us on those, right? And hopefully when the virus settles down, everything will get back to normal and we'll be able to get out and go photograph together. Because I love to photograph with you. And I love to get out and share what we do. So once again, I'm going to take this area right here. I'm going to darken it just a titch. And I'm going to add some structure to it. Boom, look at that. Oh yeah. I'm liking this, right? Pretty cool, isn't it? Right? So can you see what we're affecting here? How we're changing this picture? Right? Now, this is nothing that Ansel Adams could not have done in the darkroom. And I know a lot of you are very purist about your photography, and a lot of you don't like to spend a lot of time on the computer. I understand that, but we need to. And for those of you who are rookies at this, I understand, right? It's just a lot to do. So boom, there we go. Now, once again, look at how we created that beautiful line. I hit OK. There it goes. It saved it. So I'm going to do File, Save As. It's going to save it as the PSD, so I have both layers. So I'll show you the layers here. Boom, Window. And I know that some of you know some shortcuts in Photoshop and you want to help me with that. I understand. So there's the original color. There's the Nik Silver Effects layer. Awesome. So I go to Layer, Flatten the Image, File, Save As, and now I'm going to save this as a JPEG. I'm going to overwrite the original JPEG that I saved where it was just the cropping, because now I have it as the black and white. Awesome. So on the computer, I will have 3 versions of this picture. Actually, I'm going to save 4 because I'm going to post this one to to Facebook and Instagram. I'm going to go to image size, change it from the full size to a smaller 7-inch image that'll go great on Instagram and Facebook. Save as. I'm going to save this to the desktop. I'm going to make this work here. File. See, so I'm trying to talk to you. I keep making these mistakes. Go to the desktop. Going to change that to the E. Boom. Boom. And now it's saved. So if you take a look here in Bridge, right? So if we look at the picture, so Command A, view, sort by date created. So today, I saved 1, 2, 3 photos from my adventure in the rain in the backyard, right? So I saved this one as a black and white, and I saved this one as a color, right? So you can see the differences. It's pretty awesome what we've done. And I want you to enjoy these pictures as I post them. I want you to enjoy your photography. I want you to be safe, and I want you to be creative. And I want you to remember to keep photographing, keep sharing your images, be part of what we do at Creative Photo Academy and Paul's Photo. The lab will print these and make beautiful enlargements for you. We'll get together, we'll work together to be creative. So remember to share your pictures at hashtag Paul's Photo, hashtag Creative Photo Academy, and hashtag We're All Together, because we're all together in this and we're sharing photography and creativity so that we can be better people. We can enjoy this time where we have some quiet time and we can be safe in our own houses, not infecting each other, but being creative and sharing and having fun with it. Mark Coman from Paul's Photo and the Creative Photo Academy, thanking you for watching us. Hope you learned a little bit today. If you did, write me a note on Facebook or Instagram or send me an email, mark@paulsphoto.com. And I want to get to know you, get to see you, and share our photography together. Thanks a lot. Have a great evening. Enjoy a dish of ice cream with me. I'm going to have some mint chip here in just a second, and I'll be thinking about you.